So here's the main headline at the very top. What has changed since yesterday? If you haven't heard already, the chance of snow has been diminishing. Some of the latest model guidance we've been looking at here today is really starting to kind of illustrate that, which is causing an increase in the forecast confidence, which is good. So the potential for minor impacts is lowering. So as far as the forecast goes today, we are not expecting a winter weather advisory at this time. However, there's still some potential that we could see a brief changeover from rain to snow on the very back edge of the precipitation. That would be primarily early Sunday morning before sunrise. And then this is all out of here very quick. And that window is going to be very short. And I'll show you more about that coming up in a moment. And at the very bottom is where we discuss more about the cold weather. Really, that hasn't changed much since the update yesterday. Still expecting another freeze for the central northern parts of the area. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday mornings with some very cold wind chills. So starting things out with the precipitation chances overview, this is actually showing you the weather type and precip chances for select locations across our area. Showing you that first disturbance, as we talked about yesterday, is going to come through. That first cold front is going to come through late Friday to early Saturday, introducing a chance for rain. No impacts expected with that. And then for some of the coastal areas, your chance of rain may last through the day on Saturday, as we may have some of that overrunning precipitation. Generally low chances for rain, nothing impactful during the day on Saturday. And then Saturday nights when we see that next disturbance kind of advance some precipitation from our southwest over our area. And then I wanted to show you this at the very end there at 3 a.m. That's how short that window is. If we have any brief changeover, it's going to be very brief, maybe an hour or two. Very short in that 3 a.m. range, plus or minus an hour or two there. And then it's out of here. There's no other risk after that. So again, short and brief, potential still exists, but we're going to talk about that more in detail. So here's the precipitation overview. This is something that we illustrated yesterday. We changed it for today. This is a little different, showing you that the precipitation is going to be spreading in from the southwest towards the northeast. Some of the model guidance, and I would even go as far as to mention most model guidance now is showing us that the precipitation is actually even further to the southeast, mostly across marine areas. So we don't want to jump too far on board with that, as there's some guidance that actually still shows some precipitation all the way from about Houma up to southern Alabama. So and then that cold air comes in, and there you see is that brief change over the very back edge of that. So we want to also mention a lot of this rides also about where this band of precipitation is going to form. We're going to have to keep a close eye on it. That's that second bullet point you see in the middle. We're going to have to keep a close eye on it. If this band is a little bit more towards the northwest and heavier, there is a potential we could see maybe some embedded sleet or heavy wet snowflakes. That could be from Houma up to New Orleans to Slidell, that area, generally speaking. However, that is a very low risk. And if it does occur, we're not expecting impacts to travel. But we may have to monitor bridges, otherwise not anticipating any type of direct impacts like that, because it's going to be a short window and it's quickly gone after that. So again, no lingering impacts. We go above freezing by around early to mid morning. We reach highs in the 50s, so not expecting any type of impacts. And here's that conditional risk, as I was just talking about. If you remember seeing this from yesterday, those percentages are a lot lower. And this is just showing you the chance of accumulating snow, so 1/10 of an inch of snowfall. And notice that little note I put there in the bottom left. I'm not even showing the chance for greater than 1 inch of snowfall because the chances are 0. So you see on the top right, the forecast confidence has gone up and the impacts has gone down. So we're on the right track. Hopefully we can just get this threat out of here. We don't have anything to deal with after that. However, we'll keep a close eye on it, as we always do. And if anything does change, we'll keep you posted. Here's that additional information. We have highs near 70 today. That's really going to eliminate the risk for any types of accumulation quickly. Say that we do get snow for a couple hours, it's going to really hard for that to accumulate quickly, especially if this is such a short duration type of an event. So once it gets out of here, it's out of here. We'll warm up to a high near 50 by the afternoon hours on Sunday. So again, no lingering impacts like that. So that big bullet point there you have there in red is we are not expecting anything similar to the last January event, nothing like that. So again, we'll keep you posted. And just to advertise some of the morning lows and wind chills, add a little bit of more information here for those who are monitoring the dangerous wind chills. You see there on the right, it's the forecast min wind chills. I want to actually mention that when we say those min wind chills, it's pretty much in the mornings. I mean, about the time we see those temperatures and the fact that we still have that wind, is where we're going to expect it. So there's your timing. It's going to be pretty much in the early morning hours before and during sunrise. We got wind chills in the low to mid 20s for the northern portions of the state. Monday morning, another freeze for the I-10-12 corridor north. Wind chills back off because the winds are lighter, but we may see another round of really cold wind chills, low to mid 20s for the northern parts of the area with those lows in the upper 20s. Just notice that air temperature doesn't reach below freezing across the South Shore. This freeze is going to be a risk for Baton Rouge over to Slidell to Pascagoula and the coastal Mississippi and south towards the Atchafalaya Basin. So most of these areas have already seen several freezes this year. Just be advised that we may have frost as well in some of these mornings too, especially on Monday morning. So same summary there, exactly what I just talked about. Not expecting winter weather advisory, talking with forecasters on shift today who's doing the forecast. He's not anticipating it, but if anything changes, as always, we'll update you. And then it's going to be cold for the next few mornings, and we'll be moderating through later in the week. And then if you remember from the weekly weather briefing, I mentioned chance for rain returns about Thursday. It's looking rain, no winter precip risk with that, but we'll keep a close eye on it as always. We'll end it there. Let's see if I can unmute anybody, if anyone has any questions.